welcome back to Morning Coffee right here on the Radio Vision Network. I am Mark Cook, and look, folks, we need to talk about something important. Your brain. That's right. We don't talk enough about it, but honestly, it controls everything in your body, and you probably should pay a little bit more attention to it. So, I have an expert on the line with me. He is a board-certified neurologist. He is a New York Times #1 best-selling author, and his name is Dr. David Perlmutter. Good morning, doctor, and welcome to Morning Coffee.
Oh, I'm feeling all pumped up with the morning coffee. Thanks, Mark. Glad to be here.
Yeah, you're quite welcome. This stuff, you're quite an amazing man. You've written many books. You've translated them to multiple languages. You're spreading this all over the world, and I want to make sure that people know the title of the book that they need to get right now, and that's the Grain Brain Whole Life Plan. And doctor, tell me a little bit about this, because
I would be delighted.
Yeah, I think, look, I'm sorry. I just know that we've been misled to think that those low-fat, rich, and multi-grain diets, and this is your thing, so I want you to tell us all about it.
I'm glad you opened with that, because it's true. We've been watching over the past 30 years incredibly increasing rates of brain degeneration like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. And at the same time, as you just pointed out, what an incredible observation, that this is the exact thing that's happened to our diet, that we've been told to go low fat, no fat, and at that point, by default, we've been eating more sugar, more carbohydrates, more whole grain goodness, which is nothing further from the truth. Not only has it led to obesity and diabetes and cancer, but our brain health has suffered dramatically. So the real mission here of the Grain Brain Whole Life Plan is to provide the how. How do you implement now what we truly understand is the most scientifically validated information? But let's not look at it from the science perspective anymore. Let's look at it from the perspective of what do we do day in and day out so that our brains will work well, our brains will be resistant to degeneration, the rest of our body will thrive as well. And at the same time, we can lose weight and gain vitality and even improve our mood when we eat foods that, believe it or not, have more fat in them, that have less carbs, less sugar, more fiber. We gain some aerobic exercise on a daily basis. We pay real strict attention to how much time we are sleeping, and we even welcome gratitude back into the fold.
Well, I think that people understand that if you're living a healthy lifestyle, it's going to improve your overall health, including your brain health. But doctor, you are a game changer, because you're telling people, and remember, this is based in science. This isn't based on pulling stuff out of the air. You want people to understand that quote unquote healthy lifestyle, it has a little bit of a different definition now that you're trying to spread. So I wanted you to kind of talk a little bit about that. Just give people a general overview on how you're trying to change the game.
I think a good place to start is to recognize that our DNA, our 23,000 genes that we got from mom and dad, these aren't locked up in a glass case and telling us exactly what's going to happen to us in terms of our health and our futures. That our lifestyle choices, including food, most importantly, change the expression of our life code, of our DNA, moment to moment. And for more than 2 million years, our diet has been high fat, high fiber, low carb, because that's the only food that we had. And now suddenly, recently, we were told, oh no, we're going to scientize your diet, and you're going to need more sugar and more carbs, and it's been just a huge change in terms of our gene expression, and that has led to just general health in Western cultures declining by leaps and bounds. Well, in my world as a neurologist and dealing with people and their families who are suffering with something like Alzheimer's, and frankly, my father passed from Alzheimer's as well, that's 5.4 million Americans that have been given that diagnosis. That is a disease that is preventable, and more importantly, it's a disease for which we have no treatment right now whatsoever. If it's preventable and we have no treatment, then the news about preventing Alzheimer's should certainly be something that we shout out from the mountaintops. But unfortunately, We live in a kind of a drug-centered environment where we're just waiting for the next miracle drug. My mission in here is to tell you today that the foods you eat have a huge bearing to play on your mood, on your belly, and most importantly, on the future destiny of your brain. You can make these choices today, and that's what this new book is all about.
Yeah, and that's why it's so excellent. Now, he mentioned that he's a neurologist, but he's not just a neurologist. He's an award-winning neurologist. The Linus Pauling Award is the top award that you can get in neurology, and Dr. Perlmutter has won it. It's just so amazing because Alzheimer's is such a serious disease, but you talked about it's preventable, and the way we could do that is by making sure our brains are active and promoting growth of new brain cells. But is there a way that I could do that and reduce stress at the same time?
Absolutely. One word: exercise. Exercise does both of those things. Exercise turns on basically stem cell therapy. So if you want to go have some stem cell therapy, you can. All you got to do is buy a pair of sneakers and start getting some aerobics into your plan for about 20 minutes every day. That actually turns on the genes that code for a certain chemical that amplifies the growth of new brain cells exactly where you need them most, in your brain's memory center. And at the same time, part two of your question, will reduce the effects of stress on your body and in your brain. So, this is important information, and I have to say I'm very taken by the response. This book was just launched a couple of days ago, and it looks like people are really interested in this information, and I think, it's nice to have some good news for a change. With the way everybody's been after each other lately and so much negativity, it's nice that there is some good news and some actionable information where people can, learn what we've been writing about, visiting my website, drperlmutter.com, learning what's going on in the science. But I think my mission is to then take that information and deliver it in such a way, like with the new book, so people can make changes starting today so that they can really rewrite their health destiny as it relates to their brain, their risk for diabetes, their risk for obesity, and even cancer.
Well, what I like about your approach is that you want people to kind of change their mindset, but you're not asking them to make these huge sweeping changes. I mean, really just getting out and going for a brisk walk for 20 minutes. Yeah, it sounds to some people like it's a tough challenge, but really, if you could just get up and get active, you're going to do your body, your mind, and your soul such an advantage. Now, Doctor, I'm going to ask you right now, where do I get the book?
Well, Mark, the Grain Brain Whole Life Plan is available basically everywhere. That would be Amazon, Costco, any Barnes and Noble. Really, it's nationwide. You won't have any trouble finding it. Actually, you already have a copy, but for all of your listeners, it's available anywhere. And let me just get back to what you said. It seems kind of just sort of nonchalant that you're going to go out and take a 20-minute walk, but what that's doing to your DNA is profound. You're amplifying, again, the growth of stem cells, new brain cells in your brain's memory center. And who knew? So clearly, I review the science so that people really get the message. But then we talk about, okay, how do you do it? I've posted videos of how to exercise on drperlmutter.com. I shot a series of 10 home exercises. They don't require a lot of equipment, maybe some hand weights, maybe an exercise ball, which I think is a terrific tool, but also daily affirmations, the notion of expressing gratitude. These things are good for your body and soul, and I think this is, the timing is right for a book like this to help people regain, a place of calmness in their lives and regain their health.
Yeah, and look, we live on the internet. We're Radio Vision Network. You guys know that. You could just open up another tab right now on your internet browser and go to drperlmutter.com and check out all of this great information. Now, Doctor, I wanted to ask you because, look, we're exposed to so many chemicals and different stuff each day. I want to know the stuff that I'm exposed to pretty much on a regular basis. How is it affecting my brain?
The connection to your brain is actually profound, and it's a little bit of work to connect these dots, but it's through the gut. Mark, you have 100 trillion organisms living in your gut, And those organisms are doing your brain harm or they're doing your brain good. They make B vitamins, which are important for brain health. They make the very neurotransmitters that determine whether you are happy or sad. And most importantly, they regulate inflammation. That's the cornerstone of brain degeneration. When we are exposed to certain things like certain medications, antibiotics, acid-blocking drugs that everybody seems to think they need to take, the so-called non-steroidal anti-inflammatories that everybody takes when they have a muscle ache or headache, these all damage the gut bacteria and lead to problems with respect to the brain. So now we're looking at the brain as being intimately related to the gut and specifically related to the bacteria that live within us. And this is brand new science, but the point is, when we eat food now, we have to understand that that food that we eat is going to either be detrimental or it's going to nourish our 100 trillion bacterial friends that really determine our future destiny as it relates to our health.
Yeah, it's so important, and I want everybody out there to pick up the Grain Brain Whole Life Plan by Dr. David Perlmutter, and it is just absolutely fantastic. You're going to feel better every day if you follow the doctor's plan, and your brain is going to be healthier. Doctor, I want to thank you for spending a few minutes with me this morning on Morning Coffee. This is absolutely great stuff.
Mark, I'm so glad you had me here this morning. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Guys, go pick up the book, The Grain Brain Whole Life Plan. Get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, pretty much anywhere they sell books, they sell that one, so go pick it up. I'm going to take a quick break here on Morning Coffee, but don't go anywhere, because I'm going to be right back here on the Radio Vision Network. Stick around.